Good morning, everybody. What's up? Monday. Happy Monday. It is September 9th, 9/9/2024, and we are just about ready to open here. Market's pushing right up into that overnight high here. Potentially could give us a signal early on what we want to be doing. So I am going to be watching this. Not that I trust this to just fail immediately. I do think that there is some overhead interest around that 700 number. 544 is that bullish bearish line in the sand. If you did get a chance to read the write-up. If not, it's posted in the chat now. We are live on tradecaster.com, YouTube, and Twitch now. Give your some options if you're on the go and you don't have the Tradecaster lobby pulled up on your phone. We will be looking at Friday's price action to be recovered some, I believe, right? This 692 level was support, and that was our breakdown point on Friday again after, to continue on. So just be watching for that level overhead. So I know our overnight high is right here, and we do have this little bit. I don't get on early in the morning normally. Just on the non-farm day was a nice early. There was no news this morning. 8:30 we have crude stock inventories. There's nothing else for this week. Today. Tomorrow we have inflation before the bell. I'll probably come on for that. Morning, Charlie. How we doing? 829. Let's see what we get. I am going to try my best to see what kind of setup we get here right off the jump. We'll watch it on the S&Ps as well. NVIDIA and Microsoft both creeping to the upside pre-market here right before the open. So let's see what happens with these two names as well. Apple does have their iPhone release today, so that's also something to note with the Apple crowd. As always, I start my day off with Day Trading Coffee Co. If you want some coffee, go over to daytradingcoffeeco.com. Use my code PolicingPips for 15% off. Always. It's my go-to every morning. I am still sticking with the micros for now. We did all right with them on Friday. See what we can do with them today. I'm going to look at my little longer-term chart. Microsoft pulled back into that 406. Microsoft and NVIDIA kind of both looking to the upside currently, so that does give us some anticipation up there. Let's see if this opening range here, 1 minute opening range right there. Check the S&Ps. There's the S&Ps popping up over that overnight high. See if it fails the overnight high. Looks nice. See if we can get our trade involved here. I don't know if I expect the same kind of price action as I saw on Friday. So I want to see this maybe set up into 60s and 70s before I would take that failure. The first break might give you that push up into 700, so I would be careful. Microsoft did hold 406, and NVIDIA is between two structure levels that I find interesting, which 105.02 and 106.25, 106.24. So with those names pushing upside, I'm not going to immediately jump on that first little wick of this overnight high here, but watching that on this and the S&Ps is going to give us an indication of what we might want to see. NVIDIA tags off on 106.24. Microsoft pushes up to 408.77. I would expect a reaction at that point. This is kind of just holding that opening range at the moment. S&P is still not trying to accept over that overnight high. If we look into Friday's structure, you do have up to this level right here. It's probably more like a zone between there and 54.76. Might bring the bull out today again. We'll see what happens. You never know. NVIDIA just tagged off 106.24. Microsoft still kind of creeping to the upside still. So I'm not ready to run in front of this train quite yet. Tilt's only 68% long. I don't think that this is ready to roll over. It looks more strong to the upside. So if you are somebody who's looking to play momentum, that does feel stronger than anything there. Like I said, that 18 to 692 up to 700 does make sense. S&P is up to 5471. But if it does fail, I would like to be involved. I just want to get Microsoft up a bit higher first. Although Microsoft did react from this point right where we're at right now, the last few sessions, sold from 408.24. So let's see if NVIDIA sells a little bit. It doesn't look like it wants to. S&P's failing, so 3 micros. Through my overnight high. See if I can get a little bit of a pullback on it. Does not look quite ready to go. And just see if the S&Ps will give it pretty good. So let's see what happens with this. Once I'm in, I'm going to get down to the buys with the hotkeys. Microsoft sold off really hard there. Still selling. NVIDIA popping its head back up over 106.24. If NVIDIA does start to roll, Microsoft is selling pretty hard right now. So we may get a really good entry here. Well, let's give it to the high of that wick if it does come down and enter us in. Because I am trading micro, so I will give it a little bit of wiggle room this time. For our normal, overnight high fail break, Microsoft is really heavy right now. If this doesn't go with Microsoft, then there's some relative strength in the NQ. So a very interesting thing to watch. If you see this here, there's Microsoft sell off from the high. Did I get that right? Clicked the right buttons, yeah. And then there's NVIDIA trying to reject that 24. But look at Microsoft still being really heavy. So note that for the relative strength in NASDAQ, with Microsoft being so weak, if Microsoft pops back up, then you may still continue to get strength in the NASDAQ with that. Starting to tighten up. It's kind of what I like to see up here at that kind of area of interest. NVIDIA's pushing down below 106 quarters. Microsoft popped its head back over 406.18, but I think it's still heavy. We'll see. We will see. If it triggers me in, I get in. I'm going to let this thing do its little dance with micros. You can see how much more room we have to risk. I would like to risk over this, so I will flatten if it's anything other than that. And Microsoft just started to catch a bid a little bit. I'm not going to risk that full 200. Using these micros to let my entry breathe a little bit. Normally I would have probably snapped myself out here, so I'm working on a little bit smaller size, a little bit more patience. If we do breach this 65 and hold, then I'm going to have to snap myself out anyway. Just based on the way Microsoft is being super heavy and NVIDIA was falling as well. The rejection of this overnight high does make sense, at least to pull back a little bit to see if we can get a push down. Like I said, to VWAP is always my first real major target on the mean reversion strategy. It works out a decent amount of times, especially too with the type of week we're having. CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday. I expect it to be slightly rotational, less expansionary. So let's see if this will give us that sell pressure here. I think if it snaps up right now, then we should probably get out. But S&P's is definitely showing weakness through that overnight high. If it continues to accept below here, we should be safe. No, it looks like it's grabbing some bit. I cut that manually because I did not want the way Microsoft is looking strong. It bounced from 406 really strong, and we had that relative strength in the NQ before. When Microsoft was pulling back so hard, NQ was still holding over there. It doesn't invalidate the trade totally. I will re-enter if I need to, but I think that safely I could just mitigate my risk there and give myself another chance to actually catch the real move when it actually wants to happen. So if it does happen up here, I will take it again. But this would be more of a sweep that high and then rotate back down type failed breakout. If it's going to continue on to the upside, then I'm going to watch that 700 number as my next area of interest. Yeah, I like the long still feels strong with Microsoft and NVIDIA both holding their higher points of the day, looking to break the high of the day. Microsoft could get to 408.70-ish. NVIDIA is breaking above this current level here, 106 quarters, still not super strong. Could rotate up to 107.71. If it fails 106.34, then we could get our failed break here, and then the rotation that we normally look for to happen pretty quickly. I still feel that S&P's wants to fail this overnight high more so than the NQ. This is what I like to see here as well. It's more of a manipulation candle. I'm glad I snapped myself out of that. If it decided that it wants to, if it decides that it wants to snap back up and give me a full loss, then that's fine. But this really seemed like it wanted to get heavy. Right there. Beautiful thing there. I would like to fill down here closer to VWAP. Work on some trailing rules. See what happens. That opening range high holding there. If we can break through opening range low, then VWAP does come into play. I will move to even if we can get into this opening range. S&P and NVIDIA both look like they want to sell from the highs. That's why I want to take this shot at this again here. This is my normal strategy, so I'm willing to take it. 2 shots at it here. That touched at the top of the opening range does concern me a little bit, but the way Microsoft and NVIDIA both look like they want to sell from that higher end of their range helps me out a lot on this thought, as well as S&P is pushing into their opening range, right? So that should help this NQ down a bit. If it doesn't, like I said, NQ still showing relative strength compared to everything else. But if it can catch up, probably should have played the S&Ps based on the way I saw the failure coming here, more so than the failure in the NQ. I might want to cut this one again based on those 2 names. But I'm going to let it breathe a little. I'm willing to let it go. This is what I like, this manipulation candle there. The lack of follow through to the upside after being on an opening range, overnight high, that tells me a lot of accumulations are kind of occurring right here, and hopefully we can get a nice hard snap to the downside. Maybe we break through this little level here, and we can get something out of that there. What else? Is there anything deeper than that? Not really. NVIDIA looks like it wants to sell from the highs. Microsoft also kind of just hanging out around 408. Whatever Microsoft decides to do seems like it'll probably pop this market. S&P's trying to break back above again. Safely stop over that wick. I'm going to try and let it dance. It is tightening up, tightening up, tightening up. If NVIDIA does break through to the high side, then we definitely will be stopped. If not, we will let NVIDIA do its work to the downside and try and pull us With it, I think NVIDIA still does have a little downside pressure to 105.02 if it wants to get bid back up. It did buy up right off the jump, so sometimes they like to do that little buy in early and then sell. I am just kind of doing my best to be as patient as possible with these micros. Let this trade idea play out some more. I don't usually. I mean, it is holding this overnight high, so that is concerning for me. S&P is still holding below it for now. I did like how it got into the opening range and then but it held that top, so that's going to be hurting this idea a bit. The top of that opening range still acting as support. If we could breach that top of that opening range in the NQ, we should get a good flush. But seems like it wants to crack through this 64 again. There's Microsoft trying to push. Pushed right into 408.64. And S&P's is still relatively weak compared to the NQ. NVIDIA still holding below that structure level. Microsoft wicked the high and now is selling some more. So hopefully allowing this thing to dance some more gives me more time to allow my strategy to play out. That's why I'm trying to work these micros a little bit more than I would have let a mini play out. I would have been out of this probably at even. So this is me working on patience and allowing a certain trade idea to just work out for me or not, with a little bit wider of a stop here. So let's see if it'll play. Looks like S&P's again. You can see a little relatively weak compared to the S&P to the NQ, pushing into the opening range, below the overnight high. NQ still trying to breach through this high here. I would imagine we get manipulated, get snapped out, and then it rotates down. But we could see if we could re-enter if it does come back down again, if it does take us out. But Microsoft still just not breaking that high, and NVIDIA dancing around with it. So this does look strong here. Still just going to let this play. Let it do its dance, do its little dance, accumulate, then snap to the downside. I just want that mean reversion. I don't want anything, I don't need anything crazy. I just need a mean reversion. Apparently crude oil is selling. NVIDIA is selling. Why is the NQ not following the NVIDIA? It's disconnected today. What's going on with Apple then? See if Apple is playing the connected game. Apple's been selling this whole time. Who's holding this NQ up? Microsoft? Microsoft selling. NVIDIA is selling. Apple selling. Everything in the Mag 7 is selling, and the NQ is still holding relatively strong. That's not a great sign for this trade. However, I think it will snap down at some point here based on those names. That's my confluence. If it doesn't work, then I can't say I didn't use the appropriate indicator. Relative strength here is NQ strong over overnight highs, seemingly just kind of basing here. Look at how relatively weak S&P's is. This just didn't want to break down while all these other names are breaking down. The relative strength is brutal here for me. That's odd. S&P popped up, NQ goes down. They're disconnected completely right now. Come on down. Can you break this support one time? That buyer could give up. It'll be nice. Give up, buyer. Might have to go get the bullhead to trick it again. The market maker's watching me. There we go. There's the break of the overnight high. Does it hold or not? If not, then I'll snap out of it if it starts to approach over this level here. Because that seems like it wants to hold there. NVIDIA is still weak. S&P's break retest of the overnight high. Now let's see if this patience pays out for us or not. Come on, baby. Give me a little melt off one time. Get down to VWAP. Snap it. That was a nice long accumulation. Okay, now let's just give it up. Get it through that opening range high. If we can get into the opening range, down into, 620s, I'll try and get to even at that point. This seems like the opening range wants to hold now. I did a good job of holding through that drawdown period. Now let's see if we can pay off that patience paying us a little bit here. It's worth the hold, worth the anticipation. If S&P does break back above 466, that does make sense for a long idea. NVIDIA found support at 105, but Microsoft's still pulling back, so maybe that'll still help us on the downside here. That opening range still holding strong. Come on down. Break through that opening range. If it does break through the opening range, I like 44s as a good bounce point of where people would be very interested. Here's 44 holding here. We had it hold there a couple times on Friday. So very interesting price level. This price action seems heavy to me. I mean, it's relatively strong, like I said, but it's lacking that follow through to the upside. You would think that it would have followed through to the downside as well. So it's really indecisive up here at this point. You would wherever direction it does pick, if it's up, it's going to snap us out. If it's down, we get paid. Looks like NVIDIA caught a bid. Looks like Microsoft caught a bid with NQ relatively strong. I'm going to go ahead and get out. Right, I'm going to take that loss and not take a full loser on it because it's relatively strong to be honest with you. I'm not looking to get up. What's up, cuz? I just saw you on the YouTube chat there. I do not like the strength that NQ is showing there. So down 215, not a big deal. Looking to see if we can crack this at any point during the day. This also could be manipulative right there. Could watch this. Watch that 47, 654. You took it at Abby. Good. That relative strength was brutal there, but I do still like my short idea. The relative weakness in the Mag 7 names gives me pause on this being a breakout, right? S&P is also holding over overnight highs right now, but before it showed that weakness, I don't know if the NQ is really going to hold up. Like I did say, up into 700 does have a good target on its back. That's a great spot for it to run up into 700, maybe even up into 710. 720, and then rotate down from there. I don't know. I do think we needed to recover some of Friday's move. Friday's selling was pretty strong, just kind of consistent selling. A good idea to pop and return back up into more neutral areas. We'll see. Watching like I said, the relative weakness of S&Ps. That was weird. Nice little snapping price action there. Don't have any even lower impact news. Wholesale inventories, I don't find that very important. Single star event hasn't really been market moving. Treasury purchases at 9:30. Those should be ticking down a bit. Consumer inflation and expectations at 10. That's just an expectation that has nothing to do with actual inflation, but I would think that might move some markets. So 10 o'clock, we'll be mindful of that. Tomorrow we do have CPI pre-market 7:30. I may be on for that. Let's see if we can get anything going there. This does feel manipulative right here, so let's watch it. I'm going to see this hold or not on the S&Ps. If the S&Ps can flush 54.65, then I want to see NQ follow through as well, because Microsoft and NVIDIA both still relatively weak, pushing their markets to the downside. I'm fairly certain this data just froze. There we go. That's weird. Weird price action right now. I would like to see this go. It has held quite a bit. This was kind of the setup that we've been looking at the past few weeks, where we get a manipulation break where it sweeps the highs to get some sellers involved who would place their stops right down here below that low, right? They would be placing their stops here. So a flush like that would anticipate something coming down through this level to kind of catch some stops here, catch some stops there, and trying to accumulate some orders. So I would expect a deeper pullback into these levels here, if that's the case, if that's actually what we're getting out of this or not. Had to take the shot at those. I gotta cancel this. What's going on with my internet? If it goes now, so be it. I gotta wait a couple minutes for the 30-minute close. Unfortunately, I have to take these shorts. These are part of the strategy, right? The accumulation, the manipulation over that overnight high with the NVIDIA, Apple all selling off. The only pause I had was that the NQ was the relatively strong name across the board, right? S&Ps was weaker. All those Mag 7 names were weaker. But NASDAQ was holding up over the overnight highs. So the long idea, like I said, made sense for it just felt like it didn't want to give up that seller, and it obviously did not. So I cut my losers quick there. Took two smaller losses, which is nice. I want to let this thing play out, see what happens with this 30-minute close, this hourly close. I always wait. If I am going to, part of my rules is allow that hourly close to do its thing and then go from there. I am getting a little bit slow data for it right now, so I'm going to try and refresh this, see if it's doing it, if that'll do anything to it. Let's see. Since I refreshed it, the VWAP gets all wacky. I may want to take the trade on the S&Ps because it's relatively weak in comparison. That's my thought here. NVIDIA caught a bid. It's pushing up into 106.24. You can see that here. NVIDIA found that support at 105 and now is pushing up. If it does crack 106.24 and make new highs today, watch out for 107.71. If you watch Microsoft, like I said, it's been selling from 408 up here. Sell, sell, sell. We got that really heavy sell-off, and we got no selling in the NQ when that came in, right? We just had that pause. If you wanted to see, I don't know what's going on with my internet. If anybody experiences any buffering or anything, let me know. see. Let's see. Pushing up into that 700 number, like I talked about, 692, 700. What's going on with Twitch? Maybe Twitch has some good info. Maybe it's the quadruple, the triple stream going on. All right, one more minute till this close. Let's see if that 700 level fails. I don't see that happening at the moment. It looks like it's relatively strong. Microsoft pulling back again. NVIDIA right back to that 106.24 level where it could sell from. All right, looks like YouTube's better. Everything seems a little bit better. I did like that 72 level. I can't execute anything for another minute. Let's see if we can come back down, crack through this trend, and start to push to the downside. But it does seem like we're going to keep pushing upside at the moment. There's an hourly close below that 700, rejecting 700. I don't see 700 has decent size sitting there on the bid, on the ask. I mean, Microsoft still creeping down. NVIDIA has an area where it could sell. I wouldn't hate a cheap short on this. I don't have any 0.2 as opposed to 0.3 in wholesale inventories. Nothing great, crazy on data. I like the sell here. Do like the selling. I like it a lot. I like it a lot, but I don't like this S&P. I want S&P to hit 54.71 first. Let S&P crack that 54.71. Maybe wick it, and then I'll try the short on the NQ. Microsoft found 406.18, that support level. If it cracks through that, then maybe we get some more downside pressure. NVIDIA selling off of 106 quarters. Give me that sell through 60, then through our overnight high. If we can get through here, I will try it again. Give it a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, overall, I think taking two shots at it and only having one real bit of a loser there was definitely worth it. Not really going to chase highs in this grinding up market right now. I want to see this 54.71 area get tagged, right? We were talking about that being from, right? This is that interest area. It could be lower. It could be down right where it is right now. That's 70, pretty much spot on at 70. So 70 could be the number, which it's kind of dancing with. I think just safely that 54.71 3/4 gives you like a good area for there to be a breakout or a rejection. NVIDIA influence over S&P could soon wane. I don't think so. Oh, yes, we do have rollover this week. When Friday will be our roll. You can see this is acting supportive. Support. There is a good chance that upside potential does still come. I am going to go to NQ on this chart here. I think up into 18,839 as that bottom area of that consolidation from last week, right? We consolidated here, probably recover some of that non-farm number, 18,839, if this does continue straight up. So 839, we do have up into those numbers right there, right? You could see that definitely taking place, or having some interest in approaching back into all of how much interest was here to have orders executed. So that's my thought on that. I am short term thinking that we can get a pullback. I would anticipate rotation. That's my thought on the day. That's really why I'm looking for this short more than anything, is because of the rotation that's possible on a day like today. I did want to short that 92, that 700 number, because now this would give me a nice little snap down. Could it trigger me in here and manipulate me out? Potentially. Microsoft made new lows on the day already. Nvidia's trying to, and we're still relatively strong in the NASDAQ. So if we don't get that follow through to the downside in these Mag 7 names, then we will not get that follow through in the NASDAQ, because it seems like NASDAQ just wants to be relatively strong, unreasonably relatively strong. Patience, allowing this to play out, see what happens. Microsoft's pre-market low, it did gap up, so we do have a big gap this morning to the upside. It gapped over key structures, so that could be relatively interesting for Microsoft. If it does crack this pre-market area right around 405, then I think selling down into 403.62 could help this. Every little bit of a bounce in these equities, you do get a bounce in the index. So let's see. This was that break point before, right? I was talking about this area here. This is where I decided to just cut. I keep getting some internet intermittent activity. That's interesting. So. Not sure what's going on. I think my API is slow currently. Come on, baby. All right, better connection there. Not sure what's going on with the internet right now. Just being cautious with that. Everything has a bracket order, so if this does get triggered in, I'm totally fine with letting it ride out with the orders that it's got, that it'll set automatically. Just being patient. Don't force anything in here. Not sure what's going on with my feed. All good. All good. I'm really just kind of searching for my own opportunity here. I think that realistically, at some point, this is either going to want to snap one direction or the other. Currently, this slow grind to the high side does lead me to believe that that high side still wants to come into play because it's just, like I said, relatively strong. It doesn't seem it because it's just sideways, right? But it's been grinding up since way early this morning. This yellow line, we gapped up, and then we've just ground up, 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 up. We broke down a little bit, pulled back in pre-market just before we opened from 6:30 into 7:30. Then 7:30 we rotated back high side. I think if we can create that that failure up here, I want to see S&Ps has been trying to lead us to the downside. It has not been successful quite yet. All these other names, like I said, also still trying their best to drag us down, and NQ still trying to be pushed up. So there is a buyer lingering around here, accumulating. There's a pop to the high side. S&P's just broke 5470. Like I talked about, if it does break that, we do have into this accumulation here between these two levels, 5480 and beyond. Could look for a little breakout. I'm not looking to get in front of this. I would like to see it fail at some point, right? I want to cancel my order, make sure it doesn't get triggered in. This did seem like a little bit of a trappy behavior, so I was not looking to get short on that idea there. I may have to restart the computer right now. Let's see what happens. This was that breakdown point on Friday. I was talking about this level on Friday, that 18724, 18725 level giving up. So we are retesting that level right here, right now. I'm not in the business of picking tops or bottoms. I'm in the business of playing failed breakouts and mean reversion. So all way up. I mean, realistically, if you were so inclined to buy the open this morning and rotate through, this was yesterday at, call it 6 o'clock, and you would have trailed out with VWAP, you're still in this trade, which is crazy for a Sunday night open into Monday and not have any sort of pullback whatsoever, as well as some of these other names pulling back with it. You would think you would get your pullbacks to come into the market as well. So let's see what we can get to this. Looks like it wants to maybe fail 700. I don't think I'm afraid to get short through this 700 number because I think we can get what we want out of it up here with that sort of volume breakout. Usually it's with the volume breakout failures or where you're going to get a little bit more follow through on that pullback on the failed break. So let's see if we do get that or not. And then if we rotate and just wick in and try and wick out, I will cut it quick. Just keep giving myself the chance to get that next little base hit. If NVIDIA does break out up to the high side, then 700 should not fail. If 700 does fail, then I would expect NVIDIA to follow to the downside with the NQ if the NQ decides to give up. But it looks like still holding that 700 number there. we pull back into this trend line and breach this breakout candle, that's where you would probably get some selling to get ignited. I would get to break even if we do get down to there, because I want to see this fail kind of quickly. If it doesn't fail through this level quick, then it's probably going to rotate back up towards 700. And I don't want to take any sort of loss on that. I want to be able to mitigate my loss, no matter what my trade is. So I'm looking to see if I can get this to be a failure of 700, rotate through 92, and then break this quasi trend line that we have going on here. Before it was up there. Right now I have it here, a little bit more consistent there. $60 long. NVIDIA still holding below 106.24. Microsoft still holding below 406.18. So everything is kind of still on the lows, while NQ's on the highs. S&P is looking like it's going to get some weakness there at 54.77. Do you have any size up above? Nothing really crazy up above. I don't see any real big size lingering around right now. So let's see if we can get this thing to snap back to VWAP, give us our opportunity to go red to green, and make our good decision today. Relative strength, though, like I said, in the NQ, I think diverged from all the other names, kind of. NVIDIA's poised for a breakout, though. That's my problem with the... You can see how reactive that 92 level is. Let's see if we get filled on this. Gonna try and let it go. If it does break this downside pressure, I would expect it to kind of give a snap on this. I'm still working the NVIDIA, shorting that NVIDIA level. What up, Jofi? How we doing, kid? Short at 694. I like it. I am short at 88 is my average price. If we do break and hold above 700, I probably will snap out of it. I do like the weakness of NVIDIA and Microsoft and Apple, like all these names just wanting to sell. And I think it's just poised for a actual real good melt off. It just needs to go. Yeah, I took two little small paper cuts, and I'm probably going to take a small paper cut if it gets over 700, 705 here. That's really where I would probably cut this if it's going to hold there. But I can see, they're talking about size at 54.80 on the books there. In the end, S&P's, wholesale inventories, nothing on the news wire. I want to see if this will crack this trend line. If we do crack through 677, you would expect this to give like a nice hard press to the downside, right? Like I talked about. I would hope to get through 61 if we can get through here. So now we're going to go for even. Now let's see how low we can take it. That's a really good short there off that high level. 700 failure did make a lot of sense. So I am going to trail one contract. Stop by one. Okay, so I'm going to trail one out and see how far I could trail that one. This overnight high level, go candle to candle with it. go red to green on the day there, but I'm going to see if I can allow this to play out a little bit more. I think we do have a lot more heaviness in this market, just relatively weak compared to, I mean, all the other names, like I said, the Mag 7 names were relatively weak. I'm going to trail one out there and see what I could do with the rest of these. I'm good with that one being out at the overnight high, and then I can see if I can get down to VWAP. I might throw a single limit sell here up over 70 because that's where we had that breakout before. If it does want to get back over that, I could trail that one, and I could trail the main one at break even. Yeah, I think my stream is behind. It's definitely behind. I am going to reset after this trade. Yeah, I'm sorry if my stream is messed up. Check. Oh, yeah, it's way behind. Fuck. It's good now? We're good now? Check. How many seconds behind am I? Pretty long, actually. I would prefer to communicate with you guys in real time. All right. Yeah, I was having issues earlier. I don't know what was going on. It's just maybe the multi-stream or something like that. So this is beautiful. Really got our patience in order there. See if I could trail this down now to here. Opening range. Opening range high needs to break. S&P is relatively strong. I'm going to let this get all the way to VWAP, and I'm going to trail out one to VWAP. Fuck. Data is definitely slow. Shit.
Order filled.
Oh, shit. I did a bad thing there. It's good and bad.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm going to get out now. That's stupid. How did I do that? I added. It's all right. That trade there was good. Somehow I ended up adding, so I just flattened. I think that was a really good trade there. I'll take it. Basically, back to even on the day. Now I'm going to just be patient, allow that to go. I'm going to reset the stream. I'll be right back. Actually, let's see. Checking it. 80 and beyond. Could look for a little breakout. Let's check this. Check. Actually, let's see. Checking it. 80 and beyond. Could look for a little breakout. Let's check this. Damn. Check. Check. Alrighty. Let me see if I can figure this out. I don't like having the delay. There's no reason for me to stream if there's not going to be this huge delay that we got going on here. So give me a minute. Damn it. I'm so mad about that trade though, because that was good. I just, instead of shedding one, I added two somehow. Oh no, I added one. I wanted to buy one there instead I sold one on a limit order. That was just a mistake by me. Right. Will this go higher? But that was good short there from the top. Check. Nope. Still delayed. Not sure what's going on right now. It's not cool. Looking to see if this will go all the way to VWAP. Stream probs. I'm going to disconnect the Twitch one and see if that helps. Stop. See if this will go all the way to VWAP. Stream probs. Stream probs. I'm going to disconnect the Twitch one and see if that helps. Stop. I'm doing them all right now. I'm just trying my best to diversify, see where maybe I'll catch some better opportunities. Let me know when you guys see if I am back to more close to live or not. It's really a pain in the ass. I don't like that at all. All right. Well, at least we're back to even. I was seeing some data issues on my end. So I'm a little annoyed at this out here because I wanted to take one off and not all of it. But I added a contract, so I got myself a little bit annoyed there and decided to just cut the position because I mismanaged it a little bit. But overall, like I said, this was a good short. Catch as much of this as possible. It could rotate out here anyway. It's not a big deal. I mean, there's definitely a delay. There's always going to be at least a couple second delay, but I'm not really very satisfied with the actual current set. When we get to that 5 minutes to 10 o'clock, I will go ahead and shut it. and just completely shut it down and then switch back. Test, 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 test. All right, well, that actually seems a lot quicker. All right, that seems like it's better on the Twitch end. What about on YouTube? That actually seems a lot quicker. Okay, seems like we're better on the delay, so we should be fine now. Said I took off that position because of an accidental ad instead of I just got out of it because of I tried to shed one contract here, and instead of shedding a contract there, I added a contract. I mean, it actually worked out nice. It would have been a bigger position, but can't do dumb shit. I went from red to green, took $200 basically off there, a little bit more than 200 on that. 72% short on the tilt, so that is good. Like I said, we had that relative weakness that I did want to see. Now we are breaching through opening range low, that 1 minute opening range. For those of you who don't know what I put here, I do 1 minute opening range. Can't spell today. Yeah, I really wanted to keep a runner on today. That was my plan here, was to keep a runner for this. Really make my day actually green, right? That would have been putting me from, I went red to green here, or basically red to even, and then everything beyond here would have been my good short, right? That actual failure of the overnight high. Let me know. This delay sounds better. It should be like a 4 to 6 second delay at this point. My guess. Right to VWAP, right through VWAP. Currently, we're sitting at 93, 75, 94, pushing up back towards VWAP. All right, looks normal. We're good. Back to normal. I won't have to reset at 10. If we can get a retest in that zone there, I may look to short. However, could lead to some strength. Microsoft did go right straight down to 403.62 like I talked about. NVIDIA break through 105.02. Still looking for pre-market lows at 103.66. And then the real pre-market low, very bottom, is down at 103 even, pretty much down in that area. So I did feel like the heaviness was in. I think Microsoft will bounce potentially a little bit from here at 403.62. I wanted that short from the high. We got the short from the high, and we trailed out down to overnight highs. I took one out here, and then I tried to take one out here, and then I accidentally added. And, little mistakes happen here and there, so I just flattened the whole position. Realistically, I really wanted to take this all the way down to VWAP, which is my normal strategy here. Mean reversion, failed breakouts, right? You see a volume breakout. This also here now could look for a failed break of VWAP potentially due to the huge volume candle that you had breaking through. So now if this does cancel out, rotate back the other direction, I would be mindful of that rotation the other way. Just if it's going to follow through, it should follow through with that kind of volume, right? So just note the big volume candles, the big volume spikes tend to lead to this. If it's going to continue, though, this is what you want to see, right? Big volume followed by follow through. That tells me it's a little bit more ready to continue. Short was a great play here. I am just kind of a little bit annoyed. I was so focused on the stream and the delay that I added a contract instead of taking one off, and then I flattened the whole position because I was not, sticking to my plan there. So that's just on me to just fix as far as when it comes to streaming. Just focus on my trade at the time, and then be a little bit better. But we're back to down $10, which is. I will take that from being down two shots at these here where we were trying to take the short early, right? I tried to take the short in here, it just held up relatively strong. And we finally waited. We were very patient and waited for the short here and took it down, obviously. And we got stopped at the overnight high. But hopefully some people caught that, even though it was a little bit delayed on the stream. If you are interested in the Twitch stream, you could always head over to this. If that's the link for Twitch. You could always follow me over there. Follow me on YouTube at Policing Pips. Normal. The video within the Tradecaster stream here is my YouTube channel, so you can go over there, follow me on YouTube. And always, if you're on either Twitch or YouTube, don't be afraid to head over to Tradecaster.com, head into my lobby. I will be free for the time being. However, if you want to get full access to everything in Tradecaster, go and use code Policing Pips. It'll get you 10% off all memberships, right? Yeah, I had that short. We caught it from here. That's where I got that short. But I, was so focused on the delay that I trailed myself out on a little bit of a mistake that I made. So just decided to cut it, which is fine. I'd rather cut it and be flat and, have it bounce back on me with the size that I didn't want to do. So it's all good. Adding through the key zone made some sense though as well. So, just trying to work off of what we did on Friday. Same type of deal with the micros, trying to learn how to shed and trail a little bit longer to capture the same kind of, the more profit out of those moves. 18,567 below looks good to short. 18,567. 567. There is support here at 567. I would be more interested in the 544 level as a bounce location. So 567 could end up be an area where you're front running it. So you're saying 567, 566, 57, 75. I would be cautious on shorting that immediately. It doesn't hurt. It's just you need some targets below, right? This does look like, I think 44 is an area that wants to be targeted. So a short through 67 could push you into 44. How much further do we go through 44? Maybe down into this breakout point here at 520. There is a gap. We gapped up here, this yellow line, and down into lows from Friday before we closed up. 360-ish, right? So it just depends on your risk tolerance, your setup. I don't have a continuation setup on this. I think it will continue on. Will I personally enter at 67? I won't. But it does feel like it wants to get heavy through there. Just be cautious of S&Ps being relatively strong, holding in their opening range. Nvidia selling, Microsoft selling. Here's a 67 snap. You saw that snap manipulation to rotate you back the other way, just even temporarily. So maybe wait for that secondary break if you pop back up to 80, or if you're going to be aggressive, but be quick with your risk. Damn, man. That's a good short there, Charlie, if you took it. I am a little bit disappointed in the focus on the stream delay. So we did short that high there. We trailed out there. I'll show you chart executions just so we are on the same page of what I took and what I didn't take. I want that view out to fix. There we go. So we tried 2 shots at it here. I cut them for small losses because I kind of felt that this was relatively strong. Heading into this here, I shorted 3 through this 692. I said this should go quickly, and obviously you can see that timing was correct. We pushed down through here. I took 1 off there on a trail. It just kind of trailed me out right here. And then I accidentally added 1, and then I just took all 3 off because just wasn't I didn't want to catch and give back all of that by adding instead of taking one off, and clearly we are still selling off. I thought the pullback to 44 made a lot of sense. We'll leave chart executions on, so we are on the same page with everything that I got going. Trades, yeah, that last one there was a $200 catch. So basically, took a couple small losers, an $88 loser, a $100 loser, a 120, so $200, and then I made it all back in one trade. So now we look to see if we can catch one more good trade. If we could flush 44 and maybe catch a bounce here, that could potentially be a location where I think buyers step back in. Like I said, short at 553. I think that's you're out. Yeah. This pretty much was telling us that it wanted to go short. For me personally, like I said, 700 was a very interesting area up into 720. We got up to 720, shorted through 700 basically, filled at 88s because I wanted to see the failure of this level here. Once we failed that, anticipated that we were going to rotate back down through into VWAP and hopefully down to 44s. I would love to see a full rotation. I don't have an entry to get back in currently. Just slightly annoyed because I wanted to leave that one runner on, and I did not. So got flat, slightly premature, but it's all good. I would rather be even than down on the day. So down $10 is to me not a win or a loss. It's basically just scratch day. So 67 that Charlie was talking about. Not a win or a loss. It's definitely delayed again. So we are lagging a bit. And our stream just shut down. All right, I will be right back. I don't like the lag in the stream. I don't like having to focus on that. And I also don't like the lag in my charts. So I'm going to restart. I'll be right back. How's the delay? Checking it. No, it's still delayed a lot. All right. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Lost at all the viewership. Good. Hello, hello. Let me know if it's delayed for you. If not, good. If so, sorry. Not really sure what's going on with it. Possibly the multi-stream. Yeah, I'm still way behind. I could tell it's definitely way behind. Alrighty. Back on. A little delayed, I would assume. I like the longs here. I'm going to take a shot at it.
Order filled.
I'll risk to 44. This is a scalp kind of move for me. See if Microsoft gets over 403.60. I know this is delayed. You guys can't really hear what I got going on, so I am just going to go ahead and take my trade and let you guys see it as it plays out after the fact. I think my internet's a little wonky anyway, because I'm not getting the full reaction that's going on here. So, alrighty. Took a stop at even there. Didn't get the follow through I liked. Overall, at even on the day so far. I appreciate everybody sticking around or coming back. If you left, I apologize. I tried to restart the internet. Not sure what's going on with everything. We are still behind a little bit in the stream, but if you type questions and whatnot, I will be able to answer you in real time. I'll just type back. And if you see my trade, it's going to be after the fact. I am interested in this idea here through 44 holding. I would like to see another maybe rejection of 44 before we get another move to the high side. We do have 403.62 on Microsoft rejecting. NVIDIA pushed down to 103.66, which was good. 103.66. It possibly is this Twitch stream that's really making it lag. I mean, the Twitch stream is actually live. So if you want to go live, you can go over to Twitch. I think it's coming back and forth. It's just one of those days, I guess, with the streaming services. OBS was having a little hard time. I like to see Microsoft start to accept over 403.62 for this idea to work out here. You can see this was a higher volume push down. This one didn't really break on higher volume. Could potentially still get that rotation up. S&P still relatively strong, holding at opening range. Yeah, don't worry about the Twitch thing. I just put it on there just for shits and gigs, see what kind of reaction I get out of the streaming services. Yeah, stick around here. I mean, Tradecaster's where it's at. If you're everywhere else, come to Tradecaster. It's a nice, clean platform. If you're, I'm slightly delayed. That's just kind of how it goes. Like I said, if you have any questions or anything, that I will answer. It just might be a little bit delayed. And then you can see my trades happen kind of a little post what's actually going on. It's always delayed, right? But I'm gonna give it one more shot here through. I missed it, so I'm gonna wait. Actually, it's 9:55. I gotta wait till 10 anyway. So wait till 10 o'clock. Let the hourly close come in, and then see what we can do from there. I do like the 44 level. Maybe the hourly close will give us a break and hold on Microsoft to the high side, which would then start to push us back up. Really nice, clean move. I kind of talked about how that 700 failure would pull us down into 44, and 44 would be a really good area for a bounce play. Clearly, we got that sweep of 44 right there, and now we're rotating off of it. Does it mean that it's going to go full rotation back through the highs? I don't, the case that it could happen potentially for sure, but is that what I'm looking for? I mean, not necessarily. I'm going to just try and take my little pieces as I go and just put myself in good positions where I can manage my risk. Microsoft's still pulling back some. NVIDIA is creeping up, so you are getting that disconnect slightly. You will potentially maybe see another retest of 44. If the hourly candle closes below 44, then watch for further downside, potentially to Friday's lows and overnight lows, and maybe potentially closing that gap. Close that gap that happened on open on Sunday. I'm going to go grab a little bit of water, and I'll be right back. Hopefully this stream sticks around. Maybe. All right. 3 more minutes here. Let's see what happens with everything here. I could get an indication on how everything is going based on other streams. Usually that's a good indication for when things are going to go weird on my end. I can tell if YouTube is doing weird stuff. So it seems like it's come back close to normal. Yeah, it's the YouTube stream for sure that's behind. It seems like I've come back though. Maybe me walking away has helped. It seems like it's come. Yeah, it seems like we're okay right now. Maybe I gotta open the door more. I'm gonna leave the door open. Alrighty. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chickity check yourself. Alrighty. Nice little sweep of the low there. If we do continue on down, there is room. Like I said, this is the breakout point from this like midnight. Well, not midnight, like 11 o'clock. I was interested in shorts here last night. Thinking that that's an area that it does maybe want to go short, but it ran right through it. We came right back to it right now. So If we do return back up over these levels here, same type of trade on the high side, back on the low end, and just kind of play it type rotational, understanding the type of week it's going to be. CPI and PPI coming in on Wednesday and Thursday. We got the inflation numbers. Up $2. I'm down $3. So we're both right in that range there. Right in that range. Okay. I got the rice cooking in the microwave. I think we see a bounce from NVIDIA at 103.66, and that could lead to some buying, but this is starting to get heavy. I was short from the high. I took a quick break even $10 trade there to kind of try and cover some fees, but for the bounce play, just in case it decided that it wanted to bounce. This really started to happen. I was managing the trade as I wanted to. I wanted to leave one runner on, decided to take the second contract off here, accidentally added a contract, so I just flattened the whole position at the overnight high. And then as you can see, we have continued to sell off. I really talked about managing that position well, and then also not doing dumb shit. So I preached that don't do dumb shit, right? If you kind of do something that you're not maybe meant to do, just get out of the position. It is what it is. It's fine. I'd rather get out of my position there for a nice $200 winner instead of adding something on that didn't need to be there and then rotating back up and finishing flat on that trade because of a fat finger mistake, right? So instead of taking one off, you add one because you're focused on something different. Streaming does sometimes make some people, not just me, divert your attention slightly from the actual price action and kind of understanding what you want to do. So I do want to do longs through here. If this is going to keep going, then it's fine. That would be a quick scalp move type to the VWAP. I don't expect full rotation from here either, right? Just kind of looking at overnight price action where there was interest. You can see lots of interest here, lots of accumulation. It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I do like being able to help. That's kind of, I would love to. It's hard to do this alone, right? I think realistically having somebody on here that's willing to show you what they're doing live and go through the struggles with you in real time is more beneficial than anybody who's teaching you a course or, selling you on anything, because realistically it's when they're selling you a course and teaching you things, it's all like perfect, right? Everything's in perfect form. And this is not ever going to be perfect. It's always going to be a constant struggle, a constant adjustments that you need to make. And I want to be able to showcase that real time, like you said. And it's, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly of trading, right? So I want to be that person for you and not necessarily just somebody that's looking to sell you some shit on some fake nonsense, right? So I've gotten better at streaming and trading at the same time, trying to manage both. And, today I'm going to just give this a shot here and see if this goes. If we breach back below 30, then I'm definitely going to hammer out of that. Or hold below 30, I should say. I appreciate the support, Joe. It's people like you who come every day, or for the most part, most days, that help keep me coming back, right? Microsoft got a little weak there, wicked off that high, and so did NVIDIA. I would like to see them step it up a little bit here. I'm letting this dance some. It's not one of my normal levels, but it is a key structure level for me to try and give it a shot at a long opportunity. Right? I don't want to see this reach this too deep. Should hold that level. If it's going to snap down, then it's going to snap. This wasn't super high volume on that break. Just trying to mean revert, right? Mean reversion, back to VWAP. The shorts still could be right, and I could still make money on this long idea here. It's purely based on a structure zone. This is a break retest. If it's going to continue downside, then good for them. But for me, like I said, I'm just trying to catch a little bit of a pop back up into that zone up overhead from a area that I would anticipate there to be a lot of buyers. Yeah, I don't like that heaviness, but let's see. If it holds below here, I don't really like having these executions on the screen because it distracts me. So I'm going to turn those off. There we go. Allowing it to hold that level. Does it hold through 30? If it breaks through this low again, then probably does flush. Right? This is a nice area for it to hold. I would prefer not to take a full loser on it, but I would like to see if it will work. There we go. Good hold. Good hold. Let's see. Can we crack above that little red trend line? If we get close to it, I will go to even. Just trying to be patient with this trade. If it does snap below here, I don't want to be in. It's right here. All right. Now I'll go to even because I really can't let this thing breathe too much on me. 44 was my key structure level. As Microsoft approaches 403.60, this is going to either snap down or go. And I'd rather be out even than taking any sort of loss on a trade that I really just wanted to take a cheap shot at. And if this kind of explosive candle doesn't hold, then what am I going to do, right? Do I allow it to go? Do I put it down here again? S&P is getting weak again. Holding. And Q, S&P, NVIDIA, Microsoft, all trying to creep back up. Let's see if we can get it to go. There's a nice little break. Wouldn't hate to see this rotate all the way back through highs. You know what? Go to all-time highs, and I'll never take off contract. I promise. I will get to here. Cover my loss on the day. Back to even I go.
Order filled.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm up a whole $1.66 on the day. And I bet you now it goes. But it's not really worth holding for me at the moment with Microsoft rejecting forward. This is the reason I've cut that at even, is the rejection of Microsoft from 403.62. If we can get back above here, that makes sense for it to continue to run. But for me, realistically, I don't want to hold too long. You got Nvidia still on the lows, should hold 103.66, but it bounced, and that was a lower high here. Could rotate back down to 103.66 again. If we get another shot at an entry, maybe we take another shot at an entry at 44. But like I said, just chip shots. I went from red to green. You can see this is not a real green. We're back to break even on the day. I will take $1.66 sometimes. There we go. Good out. Good out at even. When you see moves like this, they should just go, right? When you're at structure levels. If this makes now a higher low, I would be interested in this to rotate back the other way. However, still nothing crazy here. I still think that this is really more realistic there. And you can see Microsoft held that 403.62. Nvidia coming back down to 103.66. These are what I look at to get my confluences. Short from 37, Jofi is. Well done. Yeah, it's late. 37. It's still sort of on time. If you're risking over that high, if you crack this low, I would see some follow through, hopefully. Right, if we could crack this low. 44 should have, but you didn't. So now just manage it appropriately. As long as it's sized correctly, it should still be good. I would just take your money. Can't be mad at that. Up 160. Well done. Yeah, you're up though, right? It's good. Just keep taking your base hits. I think that we could flush this low here at 506. Maybe try to approach 500. Do I see any? With the micros, it's a little different seeing the size. I don't see much size at 500. 270. There's 270 contracts sitting at 500. So is it going to get front run? Is it going to get move? What are we going to do? Are we going to run to it and flush it? We were seeing those prices acting as magnets and pulling us through in the past. Last week, however, we saw Lowe's larger size come on the books and then reject, get front run. So let's see what happens at 500. If they front run 500 and this does not make a new low, or if you get a whip and you tag 500 and you just reject it, then watch for that other direction. However, I do like that if we do accept into this area here, down below 5 pushes us back towards 439, 429 previous day's lows, and then we have overnight lows down there as well. So that would be a good opportunity if we can get down to overnight lows to try and reject overnight lows, clean up that gap, and then rotate off. So I would like to see a long from the overnight lows would be my ideal situation. See what happens if we do crack the low of the day here. Unfortunately, I did not trail my stop appropriately due to my little bit of a internet distraction, but it's all good. We still have made a big dollar amount on the day, $1.26. The realities of trading here for you guys. The realities of trading, realities of streaming, right? I could be doing this behind closed doors, could be probably doing a little bit more with my focus, but I think this is helping long term. So I'm still dedicated to it. As many days I can be on here, the better. There actually was one thing I think I can do is check for updates. Update now. Yes. All right. It wanted to do an update before, so I gave it an update. Did that help? Look at how heavy that S&P's is. Sometimes the delay is there, sometimes it's not. That 500 level rejected. Let's see, I don't know how much we got on the size. 507, 509, 514s. I'm gonna have to bust out the bull tomorrow. Bust out the bull tomorrow. Today, big time winner. We're gonna try and stack wins today. Stack wins this week. Whole $1.66. I like that it's holding 500. I think if we do crack above 44, you saw how this morning when they cracked 44, it ran right to 66, right? Let's see, 45. We're all the way down here at 500. So does that 500 break lead to heaviness? You know, you see that sweep there this morning or in the overnight around like 8, 9 o'clock. Then this snap here around 11 Central Time. Live here every day, 8:30 till 11. Hopefully the stream tomorrow will be a little bit cleaner, a little bit more smooth. We could focus on our trades and not so much the stream health. Like I said, overall, I think we made the right choices. I actually shorted the very top here. I saw this opportunity coming. We failed 700. We rotated down. We had a lot of heaviness in Microsoft and Nvidia. Everything else was relatively weak. The only thing that was actually sort of strong was the NQ, and S&P caught up, then also failed. So we saw that failure coming. Rotated down, took one contract off here, then accidentally added while the stream was getting a little funky. So I decided to just close the whole position right there. I wanted to trail this one out to 44. So that's really just kind of managing it as best I could, right? It still took off $200 on that trade, so I'm still fine with it. Tried a quick long twice here. I think if we do get through 44, we could potentially see this go to the high side. Abby's long from 510. We're up at 520 already. If we do crack through that 520 and move on to 544, we'll watch to see what kind of price action happens around 544. Is it going to be a break, retest, run, or is it going to get through 544 and squeeze up through and into VWAP? I still do have my hotkeys set, so if I see something that I can just bang into, I will. You know, Nvidia is holding the lows, looking to rotate off of that. holding that lower band of VWAP could rotate up. Want to see what happens with Microsoft also holding a little bit on the lows. Apple today has, what the hell? Didn't go? Wow, really laggy. Apple has its phone release today. iPhone 16. It's been selling off pretty much since it gapped up this morning. Yeah, it's just Monday. Later, Jovi. Good job being up on the day. Take $200 and run. You see the lack of price action that you want to see. That's the best thing to do. Not do dumb shit. Just focus on it and get yourself ready to go tomorrow. I still see some heaviness in Microsoft. This is our price action for the day here. We had made new highs. Failed to hold over 700. We went from 700 to 500. That's a nice 200-point swing there. So if you were able to hold it, good on you. I would have liked to have, seen this acceleration through VWAP. Normally, I am trailing 2 VWAP, and we would have never had any heat on that, really. And then down to 44. I think likely I would have been stopped at 44 if I was able to get that last one out. That's just unfortunate that I wasn't able to. Now we're just looking for that next opportunity, that next good trade. I do think if we can rotate through 520, we possibly could squeeze to 44. I would like to see that happen. I'd need a break and a hold over 20, though. With Microsoft on that support level of 402.24 and NVIDIA trying to break through the high of 104.40, then maybe we get Bolt to give you a little bit of a bounce to rotate this up just for a quick snap. A quick snap over this level here. And then get to even quick. And then if it does go through 44, start to trail out. Going to give it a chance if it does snap here. If it's an immediate snap, take that right there. I'm long from 20s, 24 quarters. I just see that Microsoft maybe wants to give you a little crack to the high side. NVIDIA is pushing up as well. I think I want to get it to 44 here. From 20 to 44 makes a little sense to me with 500 holding. I'm willing to take one off at 44 and then just let the rest ride. NVIDIA is catching a little bit of a bid. Microsoft's fighting it just a touch. I'm going to get to even here, and if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. Just how I roll here on these entries. See if 44 plays or not. Because if it doesn't get to 44, it's probably not going to follow through. NVIDIA is still pushing up. I need to see it get through 104.60 though. Microsoft trying to break through lows. That's the issue here. Microsoft trying to break through lows. I'm going to secure myself a nice little 25 bucks on that. It's relatively strong though. So if Microsoft fails actually, then we could potentially see this to squeeze up. So if Microsoft fails to break that low and hold, which it looks like it did, it's now holding 402.30. Need to get this to squeeze here through 35s. Get through 35s. Get up to 44. Like I said, I'll take one off at 44 and then let the rest go. That was a little snappy action there. There's NVIDIA breaking higher. Microsoft did break higher as well. So here we go. Nice little move. Can we get ourselves up through 44? Squeeze through 44s, get us up to 66s. Five minutes to the Euro close. Get through 44s. Come on, baby. Get us up there. NVIDIA's still going. Microsoft trying. It's not really, explosive to the upside like I would like it to be. Come on. Get up to 44s, dude. Nope. Failed. There's Microsoft popping. I think it's still got legs. Still got legs. Based on Microsoft catching a bid here. There we go. Come on now. Squeeze 44 now. This is where that 44 level comes into play. Does it get us tapped out or not? I'm going to secure myself just below 32. The structure here shouldn't break down this. If it breaks this down, it's probably going to rotate us back to even. So I don't want to give up all of it. If I was trading full contracts, this would be a really great location for me to trail. I'm going to take one off at that 44 level, right? And then if it squeezes through, then we're going to just let this thing try and get back up. Probably could have front ran 40. It was one tick away from getting filled there. I actually had it at 44 quarter. There we go. We're filled off of one. Good. Nice solid trade there. Now we're just going to see how much further we can get this to go. I would like to maybe take one off at VWAP if it gets there. Let's see. Can we squeeze 44? Microsoft strong. NVIDIA pulled back just a touch there. The 44 level is the key area where I'm interested in it. Either selling or getting bid through. So I'm willing to make, $100, $80 to $100 on this trade. Battling back from the depths of despair last week. The back-to-back days of good trades, managing them a little bit better. I think if we can get through 44, we should still be safe. Get above this wick here, then I'm going to just put my stop below 44 and then see where we end up. I would like to get up into that 55s. Squeeze me, baby. Squeeze. Short squeeze. There we go. Catch a bid. NVIDIA getting strong. Microsoft back strong. If Microsoft can get closer to 403.62, that's when I'll start to get tighter with my stops. Until then, I'm going to keep holding. Allow this to rally. There we go. Big pressure move to the high side. So we have secured just a little bit more. So if this is going to be a true breakout, we're going to still hold it. If it's not going to be a breakout, if it's going to fail 44, then we're out and we'll be fine. But I think if we're going to be true to allowing this to go through 66, right? I will take one off at VWAP and then trail the rest if it does give it to me. At VWAP, that'll be securing another 100 and change. Lock in another $200 winning day. NVIDIA approaching 105. Microsoft pushing up through 403 quarters. Still very strong. Do I want to take that contract off or just leave it? Microsoft, if it approaches 403.62, I'm going to tighten up. So I was thinking about taking one contract off at this level here, but I'm going to wait and see if it squeezes through 66. If it does, it should get the VWAP, and then I'll move my stop tighter to that level as well, right? here. If we can get squeezed through there, secure myself now. Basically, another good solid winning day. That was the trade I was waiting for a long while today. So we are still good. Hopefully we can get through that up to VWAP. We can take that second contract off at VWAP. If I get that contract off at VWAP, I'm going to set that stop down here at even. I'm going to trail tight until then because I feel like this could be a retest, especially with NVIDIA now selling from that spot where it caught some resistance. Microsoft does have the option to sell from here. So for me to be out below this 1 minute candle is fine. Right? This will be my last trade of the day. 10:30 euro close. Maybe we get another little bit of a leg up. If not, this could be where you start to get sellers to pull back into the market. S&P's got to VWAP and is now pushing through it. So that's a good sign for this. If I get that second contract off, like I said, I am going to leave my stop for my final contract at even, and then I'll start to anticipate an out based on the equities, the Mag 7 names. So let's hope we can get that one off at VWAP and really maximize the gain in this when it comes to taking that one contract. Hard to not want to be tight here, but I do want to let it breathe just a touch. You know, now that we've broken through that high there, I will go and secure myself a $200 day, right? That's now giving me another qualified payout day. And if it either hits me here, I'm cool with it because that's a failed break. Microsoft got to the level where I think sellers would step in. NVIDIA's at an area where sellers could step in. So realistically, I'm okay with trailing out here because I think that the equities are telling a story. If they do break through these levels, then we should not be in trouble, and we should be able to get that contract off at VWAP and then be able to manage this position from break even at that point. So if it does tag me off, we are very close to it. 80 is a very key level, so I could just tag off on it now, take that one off, but I'm going to let it get to VWAP, let it strike me. There we go. And now we're at break even. Well, we're going to be beyond break even. We're going to be below 44. I think 44 is that structure point. So we've secured 162, and then 44 is going to be our stop down below. So if we can get this through VWAP and rotate up, then we can maximize our gain on this trade here today. So hopefully some of you saw the execution there and the understanding of why. Microsoft just cracked above 403.62. We got a nice little squeeze going. NVIDIA also looking like it wants to get over 105. If NVIDIA can squeeze over 105, then maybe we could rotate through highs. I would love to see this get through highs and then be able to trail it out really effectively. But also, this is a good area, like I said, for those names to sell off. You could see also a good area for a little bit of rejection at VWAP. We just try to do our mean reversion strategy, and using these micros, we have really done a good job of managing some of these positions really, really well. So we took a $200 winner at the top. We've taken now at least a $200 winner here at the bottom, just about. I've secured down to 44. I'm going to try and let this last micro breathe a little bit, see if I can get it follow through in Microsoft, see if I can get follow through in NVIDIA, and see if there's going to be any further upside in this. You know, I don't want to be out prematurely with this last little bit. I want to see what happens at the opening range as well. If we can get through this opening range and up into that blue line, then I'm going to trail out to the bottom of the opening range. You would expect that price, if it does breach back above the opening range, it should not come back to the low of that 1 minute opening range. So really, really good trade management. Red to green on the day. Went from down 2 to being up at least 2. Another qualifying payout day. And now we're going to try and get ourselves back red to green. Like I said, we're digging ourselves out of the hole that we created. We didn't do bad executions. I just made the adjustment to switch from one mini contract to micros, and now that's really paying off for us the last 2 trading sessions on being able to let these trades breathe. Unfortunately, on Friday, I didn't maximize that whole downside, but I did still catch $500 on the day, so I'm not going to be mad at a $500 day, right? I'm not going to be mad at a $200 day. I'm not going to be mad at any day that I'm able to manage my positions correctly. So hopefully, thank you, Abby. I appreciate the comment. We got this thing going. We're still rocking and rolling to the upside. Still waiting to see if VWAP's going to break or if we're going to rotate off of it. S&P's is trying to break through overnight highs, and we still have a ways to go to get to overnight highs in the NQ. So relatively weak, when we were relatively strong early in the day. So seeing that little bit of a divergence between the two names, we got to watch both to kind of see who's leading and who's lagging at the time. NVIDIA is running into that resistance right here. This is NVIDIA 105.02. If we can crack above here, we could start to rotate up into 106, hopefully. Microsoft is leading the way to the upside, holding above 403.62, could pull back into that area to rotate back up. So thank you, Profit Trader. Welcome back. I always appreciate you in the comments whenever you get in here. Yeah, we're just doing our best to put out good executions at good levels, manage our risk correctly, understand dynamics between, why would price want to go lower than 500? I mean, we moved 200 points to the downside. Will we rotate back that full 200? I don't know. I kind of anticipated Monday and Tuesday to be more inside days. Tomorrow we do have some data that does come out, so potentially that could ignite a directional move into CPI on Wednesday and Thursday for PPI, trading economics, calendar. And CPI is Wednesday, and Thursday we have PPI, right? So there is actually no news tomorrow. Nothing that's impactful on Tuesday. Redbook at 7:55. Really nothing crazy there. But like I said, I think sideways action until, or inside days. I can't say sideways because this is still, there's movement here. There's 200 points, right, in either end. If it's a 200-point range and you're able to manage the bottom and the top of it and not get greedy, then you're going to be able to be a lot happier on your trades. And switching over to micros again, and getting out of my own way with those minis, allowing some of these trades to breathe a little bit more, cut them when I see that they're wrong, right? I don't have to let it come reach my full stop. I took 2 shots at a short here. I saw this manipulation. I said, this has got to be a short. This is my setup. It's going to come into play. Everything else was weak except for NQ. NQ was relatively strong. So I cut my loser at $80. I cut my loser at 120. Instead of taking full $200 losses, why would I do that if I can see the relative strength, just get out of the position? Now, coming into this here, seeing this, managing it well, even through some technical difficulties. We caught $200 on that trade, got ourselves out of the drawdown, and then now we see that rotational buying pressure start to come in at 500, right? We were not able to break through 500. We had this downtrend coming in. If we can crack above here and hold above 44, which I call my bullish and bearish line in the sand for the week, if you read my write-up, the write-up over at daytradingcoffeeco.com. I will pull it up for you guys and share it again. It is in the chat, but I will share it on the YouTube. You can click over here, go over to daytradingcoffeeco.com, check out my write-up. If anything, the worst case, just read up that last little sentence, that last paragraph, gives you the levels of the week. And that's where I start to see my bullish bearish line in the sand is 544. So anything above 544 I find to be bullish. If it's going to hold below 544, I think bearish for the week. Currently, right now, we are still holding VWAP. I want to see what happens with this. S&P's is trying to hold overnight highs, so I want to see if we can still get a little more out of this. I will watch what happens around 566. If we breach below 566, I may want to get out. NVIDIA is breaking down from 105. Microsoft, I want to see if it'll hold 403.62. I don't want to let this whip me out. I want to see if this is going to be more manipulation or if it's going to be a true sell from the VWAP, which I don't think it is currently yet. I want to see if Microsoft will hold 403.62 first. Hell yeah, Profit. Good job. Good job. I'm usually a full mini guy. I like to just take my money and run, take these quick scalps. I'm really trying to work on improving some hold times. So hell yeah, that is a great. You secured at least 900 on that. Really, really nice hold. Watch this manipulation candle. We could see some more upside still with if we break above this opening range or get into this opening range, then I might start to use VWAP as my stop. So this is where I want to see, was that manipulation or are we going to actually truly sell? I think safely, if I do get below 66 for my stop, that should be fine here, because if we break through 66, I think 44 does come in. So this if this is not just a liquidity grab, then we probably rotate down to 44. If this is a liquidity grab, then further upside comes in, right? NVIDIA is trying to break through 105.04. Microsoft did try to catch a bid from 403 after the sell-off, so now we're kind of just dancing around those levels. I want to see if they'll still catch a bid into the rest of the day, into that CPI number for Tuesday. For Wednesday, I'm sorry. I keep saying Tuesday. For Wednesday. Wednesday, CPI Wednesday, PPI Thursday. Yeah. I'm cool with securing a little bit more of this trail. I'm working on longer holds. It's not always been my strength. I'm very scalpy. I'm very quick to get my money and run on the day. I normally stream 8:30 to 11. I will probably keep this stream on until this position works itself out. I'm not going to just take profits just because it's 11 o'clock. I can manage the position throughout the day. If it's like way in the profit and I'm secured pretty far, then I probably will cut off stream. But if I kind of have a feeling that we may get a little bit more manipulation out of this VWAP area, and I probably will be getting out around there. If not, if we can get up over the opening range, right, that 1 minute opening range here, I want to see if we could breach high of the day. That would be really great. Trying to catch 100 points with one micro. 524, 624, 724, and beyond, 200 points plus. The power of these micros is pretty huge, especially if you don't get too greedy with your combines and stuff. Understanding your drawdown limits if you do have an XFA, if you have a combine. We are in a funded account. We did go into drawdown. I was about $1,000 in drawdown last week, 2 losing days. Not bad executions, just didn't allow the trades to breathe enough. So I made the adjustment to switching over to micros. And I didn't just go half size. I went with basically a third, I went 3 micros. If we can get above this and into that blue line, I'm going to get my stop below 600, and then we'll see where it goes from here. So that's basically 100 points on the move. I can't be mad about that. Try not to get too greedy on it. Probably go to VWAP here, just below this VWAP area. I'm willing to secure that much there. Give back $50 to make, potentially more. But I think this is an area where the retest could lead to some selling, especially now that the S&P is over its overnight highs. Tried to hold that opening range high. I want to see a NQ kind of catch up, but Microsoft and NVIDIA are both kind of just dancing around with that level down here, right? Or up here, I guess, wherever we would consider it. That's Microsoft holding above 403, and then NVIDIA is still toying with this 104, 105 level. So basically 105 even. Any really downside pressure probably will scoot the NQ down quite a bit, but I want to see if this will pop and give us one more little leg up. Right, you can see Microsoft again ticking downside. This type of wedging pattern usually leads to a sharp move through if it gets through a key level. If it can hold the key level, then you can expect another type of, pullback, rotation. So maybe like one more leg up before it decides it's going to go down. But really with NVIDIA now selling hard, right? NVIDIA selling through that structure. Microsoft still holding above, so still have a chance that we can get this NQ to hold a little longer. But for me, I'm just going to use my structure for NQ and, use VWAP to my advantage, stay at 80. And if it whips 80, it whips 80. I think that's allowing this enough breathing room. If it does stop me out, I'm okay with it. Looks like it wants to get heavy with NVIDIA. So we'll probably get stopped here if VWAP doesn't hold. If VWAP holds, that next leg up hopefully comes in up into that to high of the day for that rotation. Although this to me feels like a breakdown of the opening range, a retest, and then another leg down. I want to be wrong though. I want to be wrong, and I want it to just never come back to my stop here. Like I said, you can't be too greedy. You got to let some of these names tell you what the story is. NQ was relatively strong in the beginning of the day. I want to give this some love here. Well done, Profit Trader. Always in here. I see you lingering. I see you sometimes making comments. I appreciate everybody who comes in and day out. This is just like I said. I was talking to Jofi and saying that this is more reality, man. I mean, I'm here to just show you the realities of what this business is and this game is, and just making constant adjustments and showing you what I'm doing on my journey. Hopefully helps you just make small incremental changes. Don't do dumb shit. Staying in your own head, understanding you're really playing this game against yourself. I mean, it is a zero-sum game. You are trading. This is buyers versus sellers, but at the end of the day, it's you versus the market. It's you versus you. It's your psychology that's going to make you the best that you can be in this game. So hopefully we probably get trailed out right here at 80 based on the way how Microsoft and NVIDIA were trying to get a little heavy. Maybe Microsoft holds this 403 and bounces. It doesn't want to break it yet. The buyer's still there. So 403 for Microsoft holding. NVIDIA just gave a little creep up. Let's see if VWAP holds. This is where the decision point is. If VWAP holds and we break the high again, let's see if we can get this through and beyond up into overnight highs. I want to have the problem of how long can I hold it. Really, that's really my best go. 54.71 in the S&Ps though is a very interesting point of interest, right? It had an explosive buyer here before. Can we get another breakout from there? Because realistically, that should push the NQ. If you get a breakout of 54.71, should push NQ back up to overnight highs, and then NQ has to catch up. NQ is lagging. Microsoft is dragging it down though. There we go. Still pushing up into that level. Maybe the NQ gives us another leg up. Overall, like I said, I appreciate everybody coming by, new, old, everybody who comes in every single day to kind of just watch me battle these markets and battle my own mentality. This seems like it wants to hold 600, possibly stay rotational. Microsoft did hold 403 really nicely. NVIDIA is trying to push back down, though. That is the divergence. That's what's holding this back here. I think if NVIDIA does catch a little bit of a bounce and the S&Ps can get through 54.71 here, then we can start to see this leg up into the higher end of the opening range. But I would not be surprised if it does just give you like a hard snap at one point, just because it feels like it. And I'm going to take a little more. I'm going to take a little more. I'm going to use VWAP as my stop now. VWAP is my stop. If we get over the high of the opening range, I will have my stop at the bottom of the opening range. Just kind of talking through my trailing rules for you guys with this new found trading ability here with the micros, right? I was having smaller days with the minis. My losing days, here and there you'll have better days, but it's too tight, not allowing things to move. Microsoft just got a really nice wick off high there. I think maybe this is time to start looking for a really tight trail. If I get another snap up here, I'm going to go to 600. I like that as a out. The way Microsoft just acted, though, and we're still relatively strong in the NQ, so hopefully that stays. Let's see, S&Ps. If S&Ps, I'm going to base this off of the S&Ps now, the trail. If S&Ps holds this 54.71, I'm going to hold. Use that VWAP. Using the VWAP. This is nice. Really good trailing rules. Trying my best to stick to good trailing rules with these micros. Wasn't able to totally capitalize on the downside, but now I'm trying to capitalize on the upside move here as best I can. Looks good, still strong. Nothing telling us get out. 57%, not a really heavy tilt to the long side, so still could run. Nvidia still dancing around with that 105 level. Microsoft still holding above 404. Still good, still strong. Can we get up over 620? If we can get up over 620, then I will trail to 600 and we'll be good to go. 20-point risk is, I feel, fair when you get into these ranges, especially the way these keep selling from that their overhead. Come on, Nvidia, give me a little squeeze. Let's go to all-time highs from here. The power of micros compels you. So last week, like I said, we had back-to-back max loss days. I set my max personal daily loss limit. You can see up here, $550. Technically, that's 2 full losers for me. I don't like to take full losers. On last week, I had great entries. Didn't allow myself the breathability to get those trades to be better. I'm going to get right underneath 600 here. There we go. Secured myself another $150. So basically secured ourselves a $300 day on this, depending on slippage, right? I want to see if this will go any further. I do believe that now that we've entered into this range, and now NQ is, S&P's is pulling back a little bit. Nvidia has yet to accept over that 105 mark. Microsoft's still doing a little dance. So if we can get above this range, the opening range, then I will be happy camper here. And then we'll just note, you know, did I trail out at 600 or did the VWAP trail work? And I'm going to note that for later. For me personally, this is worth the trail, because at 600, if it flushes that key level, then you're probably going to get this full snap, right? I'm looking for, if it hits certain points, will it go further, or is it going to reject and rotate the other direction? So if I break through 600, it's likely to tag my stop at break even anyway. I mean, at VWAP. So why not secure another $50? I saw the rotation coming there. You can see the break of 54.71. If that doesn't hold, then we probably get stopped here. Beautiful trade here, holding that 54.71. Abby short 611. I don't hate it. But I am still trailing out my long. I think anything below 600 is going to flush us down a little. If we can hold this level here like we just did, get up over 620. I said 620 down to 600 is probably a good safety zone. If we break through 620, then I want to get through opening range highs. That's my goal for this, to milk out as much as possible on this. Really still not a heavy tilt, so I think we could still have a little bit longer to the upside just with these Mag 7 names. NVIDIA is just really fighting 105, and Microsoft is technically fighting 404 right now, but it's holding 403.62. So will there be another leg up? Potentially. There could still be another leg up for Microsoft and another leg up for NVIDIA, and that in turn should lead to another leg up in our indexes here. I just am trailing out according to this is the longest I've held the trade in a really long time. So doing my best to kind of just learn to manage my risk based on my structure points and how much risk, you're always managing your risk to reward as the trade moves on, right? So am I willing to risk, more all the way down here or even all the way back to even to see if it's going to break high of the day, right? Is it going to go higher or lower? I would just like to secure some of my money and run, right? There's another break up. Hopefully we breach 620. Unfortunately for Abby, probably stop her out, and I'll take my runner to keep running. If I can get some help from NVIDIA, this might go all the way through high of the day. This opening range, I would expect to be the decision point. So I'm going to leave it at 600. Maybe we can get to 700. Keep working on that psychology, Abby. Keep working on the, the plan for when you do become funded, when you do get into the combines, when you start wanting to take money out. How far are you willing to give back in the day, right? What kind of market conditions do you see? What kind of trades are you seeing coming in and going, right? Are you able to manage those positions appropriately? And, like I said, how much are you willing to give back for the day? If I'm up 4, am I willing to give back 2? Or am I willing to give back 1? What is it that I'm willing to give back on a day, right? So there's that push up. Can we get through the opening range high? If we get through opening range high, I want to squeeze that overnight high. Can I squeeze the overnight high? If I can do that, then potential to keep going. The power of micros compels you. Beautiful trade. See, I mean, like, very calm, chill. Like, I'm not, like, thrilled. I mean, I'm just happy that we are managing our positions correctly. Allowing these micros to work for us is going to be a huge game changer, I think. I was thinking about switching back to minis once I got out of the drawdown, which I basically did just now. And I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stick with the micros for a little bit longer and just see how much more I can milk out of them and see, allow my trade ideas to work out for me a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, right? If S&Ps can make a new high of the day, then I would love to see NQ make new high of the day and still be in it. Opening range high now being tested. I need to see if it'll get through overnight highs. This is where I got out of my short here before. Maybe we can squeeze that 46 and then I can get up into that level there. That'd be fantastic. There we go. Let's go, baby. Still squeezing from that low of the day here, that long from 524. Deck dropping the top gainers. We're dropping top gainers on our trade here. We can see if Microsoft breaks out here. If Microsoft can break out a 404.33, then we can get this to squeeze even further. I'm going to trail to the overnight high. Give myself another bit of money. He's below 620, right? I said I'm going to allow myself that basically 20 points of risk because we just got to 40, so I'm going to trail out 20 points. This is the opening range high. I would anticipate it to have some reaction here. NVIDIA broke out from 105. So now we see if it continues on up. See if Microsoft can continue on up. That's what's helping this, right? I'm watching this as I trade. I'm watching Microsoft. I'm watching Microsoft hold that level, keeping me in the trade. I'm watching NVIDIA dance around 105, then break out and explode and using that level to my advantage. And then I'm in here, I'm trailing out that final piece of the position to be kind of trading those Microsoft and NVIDIA levels, trying to use key structure levels within my trading instrument, and then maximizing my gain by using Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple, some of these Mag 7 names that are really the ones that are driving this market, right? So overall, like I said, I will not be upset with the way we traded today. Everything I did was according to my plan. Stick to it. Stick to your plans. You will be successful, I promise you, if you could just be as disciplined as possible with your, what you're looking for within these markets. Don't overcomplicate it, right? I'm trying to keep it really simple at this point. Trying to just use key structure levels, good psychology, and allow yourself the ability to, when you're right, be right. And so that's what I'm going to try and do with these micros. I'm going to try and allow one of these runners to be a runner and be right when I'm right, If that makes any sense. When I'm right, I want to stay as right as possible. I have not done that in the past, and I want to start to do it a bit more here, and that's how these micros are going to help me out. I'm considering also trailing up to that opening range high here to secure another bit, but I would like to see if the overnight high gets tagged first. 54.71. Microsoft and NVIDIA still showing strength, so I don't necessarily want to tighten up too quickly. I would like to see NVIDIA get to 105.50, which could help this get. If we get to the overnight high, I will go to opening range low, opening range high. Yeah, that seems nice right there. Secure that. The power of 1 micro here is a beautiful thing. If I could have done this on a mini, obviously that's 2,000 as opposed, the micros are 1/10 of the minis. So just note that for yourself. If you are new to futures trading, if you're trading the micro contracts, they are 1/10 of a mini, but they will allow you the ability to scale in and out a little bit better with these funded accounts. So we are now we have taken our funded account back green with this trade here, and I will be happy to be trailed out if it does give it to me. Opening range high still holding. Did I have my stop in a good location? Maybe. Stop order filled, probably. No? Still good, still strong. Snap. Oh man, what a stop. What a stop. It's going to snap down though here probably. If we squeeze the overnight high, that'd be really interesting. I might start to trail quick at that point. I think somebody's using my trading view, unless my phone just automatically like connects to it and disconnects the trading view. It says multiple sessions, and I definitely do not have multiple sessions going. I have just that one. It's on my phone, like I said. So, all right, see if we can squeeze this high. That stop was 1 tick away from getting filled. So, realistically, I guess the buyer stepped in just in front of my stop. They must be afraid of my one micro. NVIDIA's curling back. I think we get stopped here probably. Microsoft is the only thing that's kind of carrying this up at the moment. I would anticipate this to kind of snap down on me a little bit here, so that's why I'm looking to secure as much as possible at this opening range high. Retest, rotation, there we go. Squeeze through that overnight high. Squeeze it. Talking to my trades. It's 11 o'clock here, so the stream's done. If you normally here at 8:30 to 11, I didn't even realize what time it was. Now it's the hourly close. Very good. See if the hourly close continues us up over this overnight high or not. I'm going to stay right here. Let this thing dance around a bit. See if we can get up over this 61 level. That was reactive where I was looking for that failure before. So see if we can push up into 61s, which was reactive this morning on the open. I'm going to hold this stop here just for a little bit longer. I want to see Microsoft up to 406. That'd be beautiful. Very, very nice if we can get Microsoft up there. Managing this hold as best I can. All right, if we hit 61, then I'll leave my stop at overnight highs. We shouldn't fail that again. That's a nice volume break. S&P's breaking high of day. Looking to break high of day. Approaching it, 5480s. 5480s. If it rejects 5480s, then we'll probably fail this and we start to secure our profit. But I'm going to go candle to candle at this point. I went from 524 to 624 to 650, 150 points plus. I can't be mad at a 150 point trade here. So as I start to build a bigger buffer, this will start to become minis, right? And then that's when you start to really get that P&L growth. But until then, just be patient with it. Allow your account size to dictate your position size and then start to scale yourself in as things go. There we go. NVIDIA now breaking through. S&P's just broke high of the day. Let's see if NQ can catch up. NVIDIA's bidding. Microsoft's bidding. I want to catch 200 points. I want to have a nice 200-point winner here. It's funny because I took the first contract off at 44, second contract off at VWAP, and now I have the runner on. And I'll do it every time like that. because a lot of times you'll just get that VWAP rejection and you won't be able to catch this kind of runner. If S&P fails to the highs, then potentially this is where we get the overnight high breakdown. Can't be mad at that trade right there. No matter how much we catch out of this now, it's all just gravy from here. Not only did I dig myself out of drawdown from 2 straight losing days, I have now established a better set of trailing rules for my micros, right? I allow that position to breathe to where I feel like I'm right a lot more than I am, and I haven't been able to capture those opportunities. I'm trying to make that adjustment here, so hopefully you guys see that live. I'm going to leave this thing on for a few more minutes. As long as I'm in this position, I'll leave it on for that time. I got to run to the store quick before I go to work. And that's that. We are good for the day. A nice $400 day here on a really good set of executions, good risk management. And I'm going to go ahead and lock myself out for the day, manually lock myself out, give myself the breathability to understand that I'm not going to trade anymore today. I'm very satisfied. Yeah, take a break, go eat. Absolutely, Abby. I will see you guys all tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. I'm going to set my stream up a little bit better for the morning. Maybe I'll get rid of the Twitch for a little bit, even though it seems like it's the actual one that's not lagging. So I'm going to just make sure I check on everything with my internet connections and all that overnight. When I get home from work tomorrow, like I said, we will be back on same time, same place every single day here on Tradecaster.com. Anybody on YouTube and on Twitch now. So like I said, everything is good to go. Check out the write-up if you want to see the levels and all the information driving the markets for the week. Until tomorrow morning, peace out.